one of the things you and I are both very passionate about is intangibles and measuring those intangibles. And I'm just curious if there's one or two intangibles in your experience in recruiting that you've seen really, dictate high performers, or maybe going the other way, dictate whether or not a person is not going to be successful as a college football player. So I'm just curious if there's any intangibles that stand out to you.
Yeah, I could talk about this a lot. I don't know if this is an intangible, but we would often ask, and I think this is a great question to ask a guy who's considering playing football, or if we're going to ask a high school football coach, should we recruit this kid? One of the first questions that you might ask, does he love the game? Does he love football? Does he love the sport that he's trying to play in college? If a guy is really good but doesn't necessarily love the game, then you may not want that guy on your roster unless he's a future Heisman Trophy winner. You might figure out a way to put up with that. But generally speaking, there's very few of those guys. We want guys who love the game, a passion for it. Can't live without it. If I took football away from you, then how would that leave you? All right. Of course, we've got a career that's going to end at some point. But as an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, is this a game that he's willing to run through walls for, to commit himself, just for the opportunity to play? Does he love the game? I think that's very, very important. Another question we would ask, I think it's very important, is he a leader? Is this guy a leader? And of course, we can get into what leadership looks like, or what I'm looking for in a leader. But if a guy is a team captain of his high school football team, that's a good thing. But if he's a great player in his high school football and he's not a team captain, I'd be wondering why. What is he missing? Why has the coach not appointed him to be a team captain? Or why have his teammates not nominated him to be a captain? So I want a guy who's a leader, who loves the game. And another one I would say is he tough? For a football player, that joker's got to be tough. Does he play through injury? Is he willing to put in the extra work that's expected of them? So that's kind of part of that component. I want a guy who's tough, who loves the game, and is a great leader. So if I've got a prospect with some of those attributes, I think we've got a chance.
No question. I also could talk about this all day. I think that you said, well, I'm not sure if this is an intangible when talking about the love of the game. I think without question, it's definitely an intangible. And I think this is a trait that is often overlooked. And, we get enamored with measurables and what we see on film, which is great, and you need that to some extent. But when the going gets tough, when you face adversity, it's that love of the game. It's that love for getting back up and getting back after it the next morning that is really going to continue to drive you and drive you to that greatness.